All right, let's talk about 2026. Because in the tech world, it's shaping up to be, well, a year of reckoning. You know the deal. Budgets are getting squeezed, but the pressure to ship new software is just going up and up. And the way we've been doing things for the last 10 years? Yeah, it's about to hit a brick wall. Hard. Let's just jump right in with a quote that's probably giving CTOs nightmares. For like forever, the answer to any engineering headache was pretty simple, right? Just throw more money at it, hire more people, buy another shiny tool. Well, that playbook, it's officially expired. The game in 2026 isn't about who has the deepest pockets anymore. It's about who's the smartest. Okay, so section 1, DevOps is breaking. And you might be asking, what's really going on here? I mean, why are these systems we've spent a decade perfecting suddenly starting to fall apart? Let's dig into the real problem that's forcing this huge shift across the entire industry. And here's the real kicker. This isn't happening because we have bad tools or not enough smart people. Nope, the problem is way deeper. It's the structure of how our teams work. It's a system that's just built for constant firefighting, which, burns out our best engineers and sends cloud bills through the roof. We've been mistaking all that chaos for progress, and it's just not sustainable. So that brings us to section 2, intelligence takes the lead. We figured out what's broken, so how do we fix it? Well, the answer isn't what you might think. We're not going to solve this by buying another workflow tool or hiring more people. The real breakthrough, the game changer for 2026, is giving our systems a brain. And that's where this concept, AIOps, comes in. Now, hold on, this is not just another buzzword for automation, I promise. We're talking about building systems that are actually proactive, not just reactive. Think about it. Systems that can learn, predict when something's about to break, and then fix themselves, sometimes before you've even had your first cup of coffee. And look, don't write this off as some niche, futuristic thing. This is becoming the new normal. According to Gartner, a whopping 73% of enterprises are planning to adopt AIOps by the end of 2026. So we're talking nearly 3/4 of companies. This isn't an experiment anymore, folks. It's becoming a core part of the tech stack. So what does that actually look like in the real world? We're talking about AI models that can predict system failures with over 90% accuracy. And get this, they can autonomously resolve up to 80% of those problems before a human even gets an alert. This is a total game changer. We are literally moving from a world of constant, frantic firefighting to a world of self-healing systems. The whole idea of downtime might just become obsolete. Gartner actually has a pretty cool way of thinking about this. They break it down into 3 key themes or roles. First, you've got the architect. Their job is to build the solid, secure foundation for all this AI stuff. Then there's the synthesist. This is the creative part, mixing and matching different AI agents to create something new and valuable. And finally, you have the vanguard, who's basically the protector, using AI to keep everything safe and sound. It really shows how AI is getting woven into every single layer of technology. Okay, so now we're moving on to section 3, smarter structures, not tools. Because here's the deal. Having intelligent systems is awesome, but it's only half the story. To really get the most out of them, you have to completely rethink how your people are organized. This is where we stop talking about tools and start talking about culture. So the first big idea here is what's called platform engineering. And the concept is actually pretty simple. You start treating your internal developer platform as if it's a product, and your developers are your customers. Think about it. Instead of every single team reinventing the wheel and building their own infrastructure from scratch, you give them a solid self-service foundation. It's like handing them a really amazing Lego set so they can just focus on building cool stuff, not making the bricks. And again, this isn't just some fringe idea. It's becoming the absolute standard for any serious engineering org. Gartner predicts that by 2026, a massive 80%, that's 4 out of 5, software development companies will be using these internal development platforms. Why? Because it's the fastest way to unify their tools and just deliver value faster. And this really gets to the heart of the human side of the change. On the left, you see the old way. These separate, fragmented teams for dev, ops, security, all siloed off. Every time you handed something off, you got delays and miscommunication. It was a mess. The new way? Engineering squads. We're talking small, cross-functional units that own a feature from the very first idea all the way to deployment. No more silos, just pure accountability. And these squads work in this really tight, effective rhythm. It's a simple loop. Plan, deploy, measure, and improve.
It's a cycle that takes these huge, scary projects and breaks them down into predictable, manageable sprints. And most importantly, this is how you connect the dots between what an engineer is typing and the actual business impact.
Which brings us to our next section, a really important one. Security becomes non-negotiable. Okay, so we're moving faster, we're more automated, our systems are smarter, but a huge question is just hanging in the air. How in the world do we keep all of this secure? Because in 2026, security can't be an afterthought. It has to be the foundation. And let's be honest, here's the uncomfortable truth. For a long time, we've been trading security for speed. According to GitLab, a staggering 67%, that's 2/3, of organizations admit that they've introduced security vulnerabilities just trying to get code out the door faster. Their controls are inconsistent, and they know it. That's a massive gamble, and the stakes are just too high now. So the new standard is secure by design. This means security isn't that annoying final step before you deploy. It's an automated, intelligent layer that's built in from the very beginning. We're talking about using AI to preemptively block threats before they can do any damage. And it also means embracing this idea of digital provenance, basically a way to verify where all your code, data, and even AI-generated content comes from. It's like a digital fingerprint for everything in your system, ensuring its integrity. But as these systems get smarter and more autonomous, we run smack into a really deep question. And this one isn't about technology. It's about accountability. It's about ethics. And we have to face these ethical dilemmas head on. I mean, how do you ensure fairness when AI can just amplify the biases in its training data? What about privacy, when these systems need massive amounts of data to even work? And the big one, accountability. When a black box AI makes a decision that goes wrong, who's to blame? These aren't just things for philosophers to debate. These are the real-world challenges we have to solve to be responsible innovators. All right, let's bring this all home. Section 5, your 2026 tech playbook. We've talked about a lot of big ideas, so what does this all mean for you right now? We're going to break this down into some actionable insights, whether you're a leader setting strategy or an engineer thinking about what skills to learn next. Okay, so if you're a DevOps pro, what skills do you need for 2026? Look, it's about being a hybrid. Of course, you need the deep tech skills, things like AI-driven observability, security as code, and being an expert in infrastructure as code with tools like Terraform. But that's just table stakes now. The engineers who are really going to succeed are the ones who can connect their work directly to business value. You have to be able to explain the why behind the what. And that means knowing the right programming languages for the job. You can see a few key players here. TypeScript is really cementing itself as the language for building big, reliable apps. Python, no surprise there, is still the king when it comes to anything AI. And you should really keep an eye on C#. It's having a huge resurgence and is becoming a major force in the enterprise space, right alongside Java. And just when you feel like you've got a handle on 2026, it's always good to remember what's coming next. The quantum horizon is getting closer. If you look at IBM's roadmap, they're targeting 2029 to deliver the first fault-tolerant quantum computer. And let me be clear, that's not just a small step up. That's a completely different kind of computing that will unlock problems we can't even dream of solving today. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. As automation and AI start to handle more and more of the actual work, what becomes the real job of an engineer? See, the role is shifting. It's not just about how to build the thing anymore. It's about deciding what to build in the first place, and more importantly, why. The most valuable human skill in this new world won't be writing the code, it will be defining its purpose.